Hi, and welcome to my channel, Beautiful Sunflowers. It is your host, Goddess Shayla. You can follow me on all of my social platforms. The link will be down below. And I would love if you guys would tune into my podcast. It is Heal Souls Podcast, available on all platforms, especially Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So today's video, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. We are going to be talking about the sisterhood and the motherhood wound, because I really don't see enough of us speaking about this, acknowledging it, and ready to heal it, because it's something that it's very traumatic, and it's a wound that is very, very deep for most of us, because it's something that's been passed down to us from generation to generation, from your mom, your grandmother, her mom. It's something that's deep within our DNA, and it's something that our mothers have given to us, have shown us, have created us to be. And that right there is a lot to process for a lot of people, because we look at our mothers, some of us look at our mothers as, this is my everything, this is my mom. No matter what, I cannot look at her other than, this is my mom, I must respect her, she does no wrong. You understand what I mean? So it's really hard, especially when you're not raised, to be able to call someone out on, talk about, or express yourself. You have to hush hush. Your opinion does not matter. You know, when you have been raised like that, or if your mom or motherly figure has been the type of person that they're right, you're wrong, you're the child, I'm the mother, you listen, this is the right way, you don't know what you're talking about. So we have to realize, for one, what is an issue. The first step of realizing our sisterhood and motherhood wounds are acknowledging them. That may be a hard task to do, but we must acknowledge it. So what is a sisterhood wound? What is a motherhood wound? The first thing I'm really going to talk about is the sisterhood wound, because this is something I've been seeing, even though people don't even realize that this is what it is. It's something I've been seeing going viral on TikTok, and I even allowed myself to be a part of the conversation. And the conversation is, girls with no friends are weird. That's what they've been saying. Girls with no friends are weird. And then you have the people who have a group full of girlfriends, and you have the women who don't have any friends at all, or don't have a group of girlfriends like myself. And you have them saying, well, I'm right because, you know, y'all are fake and this, or they're saying I'm right because y'all are weird and y'all are fake and something is wrong with you. You have both sides of women I honestly bashing each other and their views, and why or why not they don't have friends, when it clicked on me. And I'm like, this is nothing but sisterhood and motherhood wound. And I believe that both sides have sisterhood and motherhood wounds. The women who have the group of friends and know how to create these big, beautiful groups or big groups of friendships, and the women who don't have any friends or don't know how to create these big groups of friendship. And I also think that both groups of women have a healthy understanding, or know exactly who they are, what they want and what they don't want. And it does not mean that they're operating from a place of the motherhood wound. You can have a bunch of friends and be operating out of your motherhood wounds, and all of the women that you're attracted are operating out of their motherhood wounds. Or you can have no friends at all and feel fully healed, or on the healing journey to healing your motherhood wounds and your sisterhood wounds. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get to the point. What is a sisterhood wound? Sisterhood wound is the pain, distrust, insecurity, uncomfortability around women. Example of that is, I'm a guy's girl, like I just don't get women, and you're a woman yourself saying these things. I just don't get women, I just don't connect with women, I just don't vibe out with women. Or you get in a setting and you meet new women and you instantly try to pick her apart and find something wrong with her. You instantly start gossiping about her, judging her, how she expresses herself. You don't know anything about her. You haven't even tried to connect with her. You make her feel uncomfortable. So a sisterhood wound is those feelings of jealousy, cattiness, inadequacy, those dis-ease, that dis-ease and disconnection when it comes to other women. And you never really understood or tried to pinpoint, why am I feeling this way? Why do I view my sisters, other women? Why do I view other women this way? So that is what a sisterhood wound is, when you operate like that and it manifests itself in that physical form by you not even being able to have healthy relationships with women, not have relationships with women at all, not being able to connect or understand your sisters, or spewing out that hate for other women when you are a woman yourself. Those things that you feel about other women, the way that you bash other women, at the end of the day, you have to understand and see how you are doing a disservice to yourself. You have to see and ask yourself, like, how is this actually helping me? How is being against my own really helping me? Like I was saying, shaming other women, judgy. If you're immediately judging other women, you're looking a girl up and down, a woman up and down. What does she have on? Who does she think she is? Why does she think she must think she all that? I just can't stand her. Why do you think like that? Why do you talk like you're nitpicking and pinpointing every single thing that this woman does, and you're judging it? Or if you immediately get insecure around other women, they haven't said anything to you, they haven't done anything to you, and you immediately create a problem. I just don't know what it is about her. I just don't like her. Something is wrong with her. Her vibe is off. When really, you can't judge and act towards someone in a negative way because you're triggered by their comfortability, their comfortableness, their confidence in themselves. You're trying to find every single issue wrong with this person because this person is showing you, or you're making the shoe fit, and you're highlighting within this woman. You're taking her confidence and comfortability in herself personal as an attack on your own, when it doesn't have to be that way. We're all goddesses, we're all beautiful women. So why can't we all just be a team? Why can't we all just be one? Like, why does there have to be such a dividend? And in a way where other women do this, I'm going to give multiple examples, is you have some women who have these big groups of friends, and they all want their friends to look and act and be a certain way. They are also judging other women who don't look like them or act like them or talk like them. And this is what I mean by the women who have the groups of friends, or who had the groups of friends, we're judging the women who may not have had as many friends, they don't have a bunch of friends. It's like, you can't act like you are better than the other, because you may not see how you're operating in those sisterhood wounds. Like, some people are only having friends, some women only have friends or continue their friendships because they are the mother of the group, because they give themselves so much, because that's what they had to do for their mothers. They had to overachieve, they had to overdo, they have to be the person that everyone in that group depends on to feel wanted, to feel needed. And then you have other women in that group who have mother wounds and who are actively looking for mothers and their female friends and companions. And so you're showing up for her mother wound, and she's showing up for your mother wound, needing a mother, needing to feel wanted, needing to apply yourself in that way. Like, a lot of the times there are women who are not comfortable with another woman having boundaries and showing up how, she decides to show up for her friends as just being a friend. Like, there's been things I've seen and experienced where women wanted me to show up and be their partners in a way. Like, they wanted me to fill that void that they did not have or was missing in relationships. Or, even when I was younger, I can say I'm healing and acknowledging and realizing where all of my mother wounds were. Once upon a time, years and years ago, I was operating out of my mother wound, and the mother wound was just, I needed to feel needed. Like, I was super duper needy on some of my friends, to the point where, I just liked only singular relationships. Like, it just had to be me and the girl. Like, I just wanted my one bestie, you know what I mean? And then once I started to grow and develop, and that relationship had been in that state for so long, I realized that was unhealthy, that was toxic, that wasn't what I needed. You can't make people show up for what you lack. You can't get mad when people create boundaries with you and like, hey, like, I'm your friend, I'm here for you, I'm gonna do everything I can as a friend, but hey, that's too much. Hey, I'm not comfortable with that. Or, just distancing themselves in a healthy manner to allow you to be a healthy individual and a woman and express yourself and be yourself, but you're getting mad at them because they're not showing up how you need in ways that they're not obligated to show up for you. And you have to take time to yourself and think, like, what is the foundation and basis of my relationship? How do I view my relationships with women, my platonic relationships with women? What am I expecting out of them? What am I expecting out of myself? What is the role that I play in these relationships with women? That's the first step to really healing that sisterhood wound. Like, you have to become aware of it. You have to become aware of the traits. Like, you have to see when things aren't right within yourself and within others, how people treat you and how you treat other people. If you keep acting like it doesn't exist, then it's never going to be acknowledged and it's never going to be changed. And the thing is, and why people don't realize how damaging and traumatizing and detrimental this mother wound and this sisterhood wound is because a lot of the times this is subconscious. These are belief systems that your mother has passed down with your awareness or without your awareness, by literally via how she raised you, how her viewpoint is on women, how she told you your viewpoint should be on women, how she told you you have to operate with other women. And I want to get deeper into the motherhood wound, right? So the motherhood wound, literally, it gets so deep. It's deeper than what your mom told you and how she raised you, but more so like what your mom went through, the trauma that's compacted in your DNA, what your mom's mom went through, what state of mind your mother was in when she was pregnant with you, how your dad's family treated her when she was pregnant with you, how she got pregnant, was she sexually assaulted, did she want this pregnancy, was she forced to have this pregnancy, was she happy during her pregnancy, how was life spoken onto her and her womb, how was her womb treated before she was even pregnant with you, it's really, really deep. Like, it's really, 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 really deep when it comes to these mother wounds. And then of course you have to get on how your mother actually raised you to treat other women. And some examples of this that I've actually seen growing up and corrected, it's like when your mother tells you, it's nothing wrong with your mother and anyone telling you you're the best, you're the prettiest, you know what I'm saying? But when your mother and the women in your life start to implant that seed of you're better than anybody else, if any girl says anything to you, if any girl tells you this X, Y, and Z, that she's hating on you. She's hating on you because you're light skinned. She's hating on you because you're dark skinned. She's hating on you because you got good hair. She's hating on you because you're skinny. She's hating on you because you're thicker. She's hating on you because you come from money. She's hating on you because you look like me. That's exactly what I went through when I was in high school. That's exactly what I looked like when I was in middle school. You look just like your mama. We don't mess with these women. We don't mess with these females. They ain't never led me nowhere but to the ditch. These women ain't no good. They are not to be trusted. And then we see our women in our life, our mothers, especially over these generations. Generations have changed now, but especially over the generations, we see how the women in our life have valued male validation, relationships for survival, just because like how their world was centered, their music, their reality, the things on TV, the conversations they had, their aunties and grandmas, and how they needed male validation and how they needed a relationship and kept putting a man before their own children. That's also passed down to you. It's like we've been raised in a world to where, and it's really, really changing with the women in our generation now, but we have definitely been raised in a world where male validation is up here, sisterhood is down here. There's no such thing as sisterhood. It's what they've been pushing, like, who, sister? That's your competition. That's your competition. Keep her close. Watch your eye out on her. Not having genuine connection. Like, we are so powerful and so strong together. I wish people would really and truly understand that. Even the whole conversation on social media where people are like, you don't got no friends, you weird, you got a bunch of friends, y'all all fake. Like, why is it that instead of, why don't you have friends? Like, oh, okay, I understand the sisterhood wound. You did have friends. You did have a friend. What happened with that relationship? Okay, I understand why you don't trust easily other women. Okay, I see how your relationship over and over has been the same cycle with the same type of women. Then you have to realize, like I said, the next step is understanding, like, what is your viewpoint on your relationships with women? Like, what do you think about? What is your purpose? Why do you want to connect with other women? Like, when you go out and you want to make friends, or the women that you see yourself being friends with? Like, why? Is it just because she's pretty? Is it because she lives a life that you desire? Is it because you find her partner attractive? Like, you gotta be real with yourself. And like, that's one of the things that you have to do. You have to be very, very, very honest with yourself, because not all of you are the victims to sisterhood wounds. A lot of you are the perpetrators, or a lot of us have been in the position to where we have been the victim and then we became the perpetrator, or we were the perpetrator and then we became the victim, or we are the victim and we are the perpetrator. Like, you just have to be honest, and you have to stop yourself in your tracks and be real with yourself. Be intentional with everything that you do, especially when it comes to other women. And I want to touch back on another subject with the motherhood wound. When I was telling you guys about how the motherhood wound and the sisterhood wound goes hand in hand, and how your mother viewed women and how she told you about how you should deal with women and your relationship with women, this creates a psychological and a psychic limiting belief on yourself. Because let's say you don't agree with the way that your mother operates, or the way that your grandmother them operated, and how they think, how your auntie them telling you how you should handle women and how you should view women. Let's just say you don't truly agree with that, and you start to operate differently, and you start to feel differently, and then you have them feeling like you're rejecting their way of thinking, right? So they're guilting you, or you feel guilty, or you feel like you're about to be rejected by the women that you look up to and the women that you're connected to, or your mother. You feel like you're rejecting her, she feels like you're rejecting her. And let's say this is a narcissistic or abusive mother, a mother who is not emotionally attuned to you, a mother who does not emotionally care, a mother who is physically present but emotionally just not there. The connection is just not there, and you don't believe or agree with her viewpoints, and she rejects you or makes you feel shut out, or she makes you feel stupid, or she makes you feel, she makes you feel a certain type of way. So now for her approval, this is where this ties into the sisterhood wounds. For her approval, you start to operate how you think she wants you to be. You start to operate or even believe that, okay, how she views the world is right. Like, this is normal. This is how I'm supposed to be. You start to operate like that. So that does no justice in breaking the cycle of the sisterhood wounds, in acknowledging and correcting and saying, hey, this social programming isn't healthy. This isn't going to get us anywhere. This isn't okay. I don't like this. I don't feel comfortable for this. And after so many years of programming your brain to accepting that way of thinking, or just taking in, someone else's viewpoint and not staying true to your own or how you feel, it's going to show itself in your adult relationships. It's going to show itself. And it shows it from elementary, middle, it shows it all the way up. It shows it in all of your relationships. So I do have my notebook. I'm going to go ahead and go over a few signs of a motherhood wound so that you guys can realize it, right? And I don't want to get off track, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and go to my notes. So the first sign of the motherhood wound is caretaking others to a point of exhaustion. This can happen into your relationships, especially platonic or romantic. So you're caretaking others to a point of exhaustion. Maybe you feel like you had to take care of your mother. Maybe your mother had issues with drug use, or just, being present or sick or ill, or just emotionally unavailable. So you felt like you had to show up in so many different ways that don't really make you feel comfortable, or maybe you didn't really want to do those things, or maybe you just had to do those things, and it's inside of your subconscious now. So now you feel like when you meet a friend, even more deeper, it goes to you choosing friends that you know is going to end negatively or badly, because they are not even in a good mental space. They're not in a good physical space. This is not saying that all of your friends have to be perfect and healed, but if you're constantly going after people that you are looking to fix, who's to say they even wanted you to fix them? And this is the problem that emerges when you're constantly giving to someone who did not ask for you to fix them, who does not want to be fixed, who does not want to be healed, because they are supposed to do that work themselves. That is not your job. As a friend, that is not your job. It's not your job to fix and heal people. Truly, it's not. So when you overgive when it comes to your money, your time, and your energy, and now you have resentment towards this person, now I don't feel like you're grateful. Who told you to do that? It's the harsh truth. You have to create boundaries. And this is where it comes to where other women, motherhood wound starts to show itself. When you are in a healthy space and you know your boundaries and you know what you will and will not tolerate. Let's say right now, you know, I have some friends, some new friends. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. We hang out. Everything is cool. And then the second week of getting to know them, they're asking me to come live with me. They're telling me all of their trauma. They're trauma dumping on me. It's not fun to hang out. You know, it's not always going to be fun. Life is life. You feel me? I'm not saying that. Y'all have to read and understand what I'm really, really saying. But if this person is literally just looking for someone to cater to them and take care of them, and they're not doing the inner work and they're not trying harder, they're wanting to experience other people to fulfill a motherhood wound of themselves. We have two people with those type of motherhood wounds, a need to be taken care of and a need to take care of, is going to end up in a burnout, a complete burnout. So you do have to understand and create healthy boundaries with people, and distance and space, and being honest and real and vulnerable with people about what you will and will not tolerate. The next step, never actualizing or reaching your full potential in case it threatens others. And this comes from your mother or people in your life, you know, telling you, who would you think you are that? You think you better than me? You think you too good? I'm up here, you're down here. Or, you know, having to be the breadwinner in the family, or the brains or the support system, and not feeling like you really can live your best life and be selfish and think about yourself and live for you. You've been living and raising your mother's kids all your life. You've been thinking for your mom. You've been taking care of your mom and your brother. Like, you have to realize this. Disconnect. Become an individual. Because that will show itself in your friendships, and you will make yourself small. You'll continue to make yourself small because subconsciously you don't feel like you're worthy to individually be your own and authentic and true self and reach your full goals, because you may subconsciously feel like the people around you are not going to accept you. They're going to judge you, you know? Or being afraid of disapproval of your lifestyle. Feeling pressure to live out your mother's unlived dreams. Motherhood wound. Feeling pressure to live out your mother's unlived dreams. I want y'all to not do this. I'm serious. Only live a life that you desire. Only live a life that you desire. I feel like that's clear as day. Some of you all are only doing things for your mother's approval, or because she told you to, or she prepaid for it. Like, learn how to set boundaries with your mother. Learn how to set boundaries with your mother. And I'm just gonna kind of go down the list. I'm not gonna stop at each one and dissect it. I will in another video, but for now, I'm gonna show some signs of motherhood wound. Resentment and bitterness at other women, or even at your own children. Consciously or unconsciously waiting for your mother's approval for every single decision in your life. Unrealistic expectations in all of your relationships. Feeling extra needy. Calling your friend's phones 24/7, or your boyfriend or your girlfriend phone 24/7, and feeling true rage and just insecure. It literally rips open this trauma wound when people don't show up every single second, don't answer the phone every single time, don't include you in every single thing. It's okay. We are individuals. You don't have to be by someone's side, by your friend's side, by your significant other side 24/7. Because if you're doing that, how are you truly living for you? How are you truly getting to know yourself? You know what I mean? Feeling unsafe to take up space. Express yourself authentically. You play small, you know? Especially around other confident women. Like, you may be able to feel like this and everything in front of other men or people you deem unworthy or below you, but then when you get around another confident woman, a woman with a voice, a woman who may remind you of your mother, then now it's a problem. Now you're playing small. Now she's an issue. You know what I mean? Weak boundaries, unclear sense of self, low self-worth. You allow people to talk to you crazy. You allow people to abuse you. You allow people to tell you who you are. You don't have a sense of self, a sense of direction. You don't know how to turn into your own internal power and connect with your divine feminine energy. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust your intuition. You're continuously looking outside of yourself for validation and approval of your own existence and your own worth. And last but not least, never feeling good enough. No matter what you do, you never feel good enough. And this can come from, again, your mother telling you you ain't never gonna like stuff like that, or just never showing up for you, and never acknowledging your accomplishments, and how you can allow this in your friendships and relationships, is by choosing people who are emotionally unavailable, who are, they don't care. Like when you reach accomplishments, you're around people who are constantly showing you that they don't care. They don't care to show up for you. They don't care about your accomplishments. They're not acknowledging you and uplifting you. Last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and go over 4 ways to heal this sisterhood wound. The first one, like I told you guys, you have to acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge it. You have to question everything. Question your belief system when it comes to women and your relationship with women, what you have been taught about women, what you truly believe. And this comes with being extremely honest, not no faking. You're not going to heal by lying to yourself and fake kicking it. Be real with yourself about the roles you have played. Actually, I want you to write down all of your friendships that have ended. Why did they end? Be honest. And if every single friendship ended and you you weren't the problem in any type of shape, way, form, you never did anything wrong, I'm talking about be for real. Be real, be honest about, I want you to write down, how did your friendship start with this person? What were the good things about them? What were the bad things about them? What were some things that you allowed that you wouldn't allow now? What was your purpose of the friendship, and how or why the friendship ended, and what role did you play in that friendship? I want you to think about those things, right? And then I want you to move forward, and I want you to say, well, what is my belief system around women now? What is my belief system about sisterhood and about other women? Why do I want this relationship with women? What do I bring to the table as a sister? Like, what boundaries can I implement for myself? What boundaries can I create for others? Like, I want you to really ask yourself and be real with yourself. And I wrote these down I wrote a couple of points down so that I can talk about them. The next one, when you realize this sisterhood wound, you cannot unsee it. So when you see it in settings that you once were a part of, or you once, it was comfortable to be in. It was the talk of lunch, of brunch, at your job, at school. When you see these sisterhood wounds in action by other women mocking and judging and shaming another woman undeservedly, I don't even know if that's word, but undeserved. You see people mocking and shaming another woman, period. Say something. And this can go 2 ways. Especially if this is your friend group. If this is not your friend group, it's okay to stand up for that woman. It's okay. You don't have to be like, who y'all talking about? Why y'all talking about it? What's up? But you can just be like, y'all don't gotta talk about her. Y'all don't gotta talk about her. Come on, we got better stuff to talk about, y'all. So And if this is your friends, if this is your family, be like, look, come on, we're not about to do this, y'all. Like, this is so unnecessary. Defend her. Stand up for herself. Allow them, and maybe even educate them a bit on, this is coming from a wounded place. Like, what is this actually doing? Like, what is the point of this conversation? Like, why are we having this conversation about another woman? Why are we having this conversation about another person? Like, why are we spewing negativity? Like, why, that's lowering our vibration. Like, why are we talking about this? Like, this is so unnecessary. Like, she don't deserve that. That's rude. That's not cool. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to talk about that. Set boundaries and show up and speak up and hold people accountable and hold yourself accountable. I know it's so easy to talk about other people for some people, and that's literally all they do really on social media and these shade room sites. Like, take yourself out of these type of dynamics. Like, remove those bloggers and stuff off your Instagram. Like, get yourself out of the culture of talking about people, period. But especially women. Like, get yourself used to not doing it and hold yourself accountable when you feel yourself doing that. Start coming to that type of energy and be like, you know what? I really like her outfit. I wish I could do that. I wish that I had that. If I want that, I can do it. I can get that. I can be on that level too, instead of being a hater. You know what I mean? So when you see something, say something. Don't feel pressured to join into the conversation. Don't do that if that's your normal. And say something. And the I don't know if that was the third. But the next point is, Let's start to normalize these conversations with our mothers, with our aunties, with our grandmothers, and especially with the younger women in our life, like our nieces and our cousins and our sisters. You know, let's have these conversations with them. And whether they are the victim or the perpetrator, because I've always seen bullies. Middle school, high school, elementary school, girls who, and I know they're getting this from home. Like, I know their mamas was some bullies back in their day, because how does this child know how to manipulate and gang up on and shame and bully another girl for something that she does not have, something that she wished she had, or because she's different? Like, that's not cool. Let's start normalizing talking to these little girls and these people in our family when they have been victims or perpetrators. Like, hey, let me tell you where this is coming from. This is coming from a wounded place. This is not okay. This is not cool. This is, like, let's be real. Let's have you research a little bit more on sisterhood and motherhood wounds and acknowledge it, so that you can have that real conversation with those little women. And let's start it very small. Let's start it very small. Let's change the dynamic. Women are your friends. Women are not your ops. Women are not your competition. Women are your sisterhoods. This is your friends. Sisterhood is important. Try to get to know her. Try to understand her. It's okay for people to be different. It's okay for people to have different beliefs. It's okay for people to dress different, act different. You never know what's going on at somebody's home. Like, let's not be a part of the problem. Like, let's start it off young. Let's correct that behavior. And 2 more points. Learn to be honest with yourself. This is the biggest point. Learn to be honest with yourself when you are the problem, when you are becoming back into that routine, when you're finding everything wrong with a woman, when you're triggered and trying to make her the problem. Like, I see that so much. Like, people just be like, I don't know, it's something about her. Is it really something about her? Because if you can't pinpoint, without making stuff up from thin air, if you can't pinpoint why you're bothered, then that's a personal problem. Stop making your personal insecurities and your personal problems another woman's. You gotta realize when you need to do the inner healing and the inner work. It can't be everybody else. If everybody's the problem and you're not the problem, that's crazy. Everybody can't be the problem. So that's number 1. Realize and be honest with yourself about when you are the victim as well. When your friends, your homegirls, your cousin, your mother, your grandma is bullying you, is mean girling you, is belittling you, is showing signs of sisterhood and motherhood wounds. Let's be vulnerable. Let's create these vulnerable spaces to get real and talk about these things, and acknowledge these things, and correct these things. And that comes with, last but not least, community and sisterhood is everything. If you can find a group of women, or if you can create that group of women, whether that's on Facebook, or really I would like for you guys to do it in person, with your already sisters, with your cousins, with your friends, with your auntie, with your mother. Let's create healthy spaces and healthy groups. And if you just can't, if those people are just truly toxic, it's time to remove yourself. It's time to distance yourself. It's time to let go. It's time to find people who are a vibrational match to the life that you desire and the connections that you want, that deep love, that genuine support, that real sisterhood. Find the people who are on that healing journey and connect with them, so that you can learn with them, so that you can teach them, so that you can acknowledge things, so that you can see when someone is doing these things to you, so that you can see when you're doing these things to others, so that you can heal them, so that we can come together and we can connect and we can all be one. We can teach, each one reach one, teach one. We don't have to shut each other out because she don't got no friends. She's weird. They got a bunch of friends. They're fake. We don't have to be like that. We can all come together. We are women. We have to stick together. Y'all do not see men doing this to each other. You don't. They can be having complete different viewpoints, living complete different lives, liking the same women. They stick together though. We need to be on that same timing in the most healthy way possible. Seriously. Who cares if she don't look how you look? Why would you want a bunch of people to look how you look? Who cares if she looks different? Who cares if she looks the same? Who cares if she has some of the similar interests? Like for real, who cares? Let's all just really connect to our inner and divine feminine energy and connect with ourselves and our individualities and who we are and what we like and what we want in the sisterhood. And when we see the red flags and people, speak up, be real, be vulnerable. The person doesn't want to help themselves, the person doesn't want to be real, move forward. There are other women, there are plenty of other women out here that may not look exactly like what you want them to look like, but they're the perfect people. Let's stop judging people off of how they look. Please, it never mattered. Because you can look so good and your spirit be so ugly. Like for real. That's honestly, your attitude is the most beautiful thing about you. Your soul is the most beautiful thing about you. I be seeing some of y'all talk about women because their hair don't look a certain way, because their skin, their shape don't look a certain way. But y'all be the ugly ones. Y'all really be the ugly ones. Like you folks looking right past your face. It's your energy. For real. Let's work together, y'all. Let's heal. Let's move forward. Let's acknowledge. Let's apologize. Thank you so much, goddesses, for tapping into today's video. I appreciate every single one of my beautiful sunflowers for joining in and looking at this video. Make sure you guys check out all of the links below. I have links that you can get $15 for eating out. You can get some car insurance for $8, literally $8 car insurance. My podcast is on there. My YouTube channel, my Queen Chapter's Kitchen for catering is on there. And I love y'all. Thank y'all. Peace.